It's this bit. I don't, just going back to the camera all the time seems a bit, I need a crew. Hello and welcome to Off the Beaten Pot. My name is Tom and today I'd like to talk to you about basic food hygiene while in the great outdoors. It's generally good practice that you don't make yourself or your party ill when you're in the outdoors. There's nothing fun about shitting yourself inside out because of poor basic hygiene, especially when during food prep. So coming up, here's some tips on how to avoid completely ruining your time in the outdoors through lack of basic food prep and basic hygiene. So looks like I got where I wanted to get to just as the rain was setting in, but that's okay, ready for it. So the first tip is very simple, and that's wash your hands. Obviously we don't all have access to proper soap and detergents when we're out and about, especially not when we're hiking long distances, but for the last couple of years we've all been using it. Don't be surprised, but it's hand sanitizer. You just want to make sure that you get everywhere. So as you wash your hands, you get a relatively reasonable glug on your hands, and you rub your palms, rub between your fingers and all the way up to your wrists. You want to get it in everywhere, and that will make sure there's no nasties sitting on your hands. And the next tip is wash your gear. So chances are you will take out your COOKSET, and if you're lucky you'll be able to scour it. That's also good, but you've got to use detergent on it. If you haven't got detergent, then boil some water in it and get that boiled water everywhere. But a great thing to do is to actually use the heat, the flame from your fire to actually sterilize your COOKSET. The next thing to do is make sure your water is sanitized. There are different ways of doing this. You can have water purification tablets, microfilters, really good, especially if you look after them. You need to look after them. And also boiling your water, that's really good practice anyway. So boil up your drinking water. So fresh camera angle, because I missed these out in the original video. Keep hot food hot and cold food cold. The way of doing this, you can plan your meals. You know what needs to be kept hot, you know what needs to be kept cool when you plan ahead for your meals, rather than just bunching up a load of ingredients and hoping for the best, which can work. We can do a video on that if you want, but as you know, I like to plan what meals I'm going to have. So you can use that with cool bags, ice coolers. There are different ways of doing things depending on your kind of outdoorsing. You might feel that you can't take a massive Yeti style box everywhere you go, but you can buy small cool bags and you can buy blocks of ice to keep it for long enough. Stopping food contamination, that's always a good one. You know, these are things that we do at home as a trained chef. These are things that are beasted into you. So you don't want to put cooked food where raw food has been, especially not raw meats. And meats on the trail, that's a different beast anyway. I'm going to be doing a video on different types of meat. And you can take an individual chopping board out to help with this, or you can have your own food prep area. And then anything that's being cooked just goes into the pan, stays in the pan until it's cooked. And when it's cooked and cooked thoroughly, you can eat it from the pan or transfer it to a plate that hasn't had raw food on. A good way of making sure the food is well and truly cooked, the best way is buying a thermometer. And there are loads on the market out there. They all work, and there's information out there on how hot food needs to be, which brings me on to my next point actually, and that is take a food hygiene course if you're so inclined. A food hygiene course is great for a number of reasons. It's more suited for commercial uses, but you do learn a lot. And if you don't want to take a food hygiene course, just check out your local food standards agency. It's the FSA in Britain. See what their recommendations are with regards to temperature, etc. These courses, they're pretty readily accessible. You can get local in-person ones, or there is a type you can do online as well. If you're doing this commercially, it's a must. If you're taking friends out and you're the one who's doing the bulk of the cooking, then it's well worth just having that extra bit of knowledge. So now that I've scared the absolute shit out of you and you never want to cook again, tell me, what have I missed, or what do you do to keep food hygiene up on the trail? Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers and gone.